Russian dictator Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov, came from a family with deep-rooted ties to the Soviet Union's party and intelligence elite. As Proekt's investigation revealed, his family lineage is intertwined with Bolsheviks, party functionaries, and Soviet intelligence officers. Despite his public profile, Peskov carefully concealed the details of his biography and origins for decades. Officially, there's no mention of the press secretary's mother in open sources. His biography states only that he was born to diplomat Sergei Peskov. In reality, his mother's name was Nadezhda Zenina, and she came from the top ranks of Soviet nomenklatura. Her grandfather, Yakov Zevin, was a renowned revolutionary, one of the 26 Baku commissars executed by the White Guards in 1918. After his death, Lenin personally provided housing for Zevin's widow in Moscow. She became a close friend of the Lenin family and worked with Krupskaya at the People's Commissariat of Education. Peskov's grandmother later participated in the Red Army's purges, serving on the party's repression commission. Her son, Peskov's grandfather, made a career in the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and became deputy director of the Institute of Marxism-Leninism. The future Kremlin speaker's mother, however, allegedly had ties to state security agencies. Official databases contain no information about her employment. Peskov's father, diplomat Sergei Peskov, was also, according to former colleagues, a Soviet intelligence officer. A graduate of the Institute of Asian and African Studies, he worked for many years in the Middle East under the guise of friendship societies and solidarity committees. The entire family, including little Dmitry, traveled with him on foreign assignments. Later, Peskov Jr.'s career was also marked by connections and advantageous marriages. His first wife was Marshal Semyon Budyonny's granddaughter, Anastasia, which helped the young ISAA graduate land his first assignment in Turkey. After the divorce, Peskov married Ekaterina Solotsinsky, the daughter of Russian diplomat Vladimir Solotsinsky. It was her father who recommended Dmitry as a translator during Boris Yeltsin's visit to Turkey in 1999. This proved to be a turning point. Peskov soon found himself in the Kremlin, where he quickly rose to the rank of Putin's press secretary. Recently, Dmitry Peskov's spokesman, Nikolai Peskov, has once again found himself in the spotlight. According to the Metla publication, during the period when Nikolai Peskov claimed to be part of the private military company Wagner, he was actually on vacation in the Maldives. Recall that previously, Peskov Jr. became the protagonist of a telephone prank organized by journalist Dmitry Nizovtsev, who called him on behalf of a military commissar. At that time, Nikolai refused to appear at the Commissariat, reasoning that he needs to resolve the issue at another level. He later stated that he had voluntarily enlisted in Wagner and even received the medal for courage, stating that he had spent a little less than 6 months at the front. Previously, the media and anti-corruption organizations reported on the real estate of Dmitry Peskov's children. Nikolai Peskov owns an apartment on Bolshaya Dorogomilovskaya Street in Moscow, and in March 2024, he became the owner of a house in the DSK Bakovka Villa village in Odintsovo. Peskov's daughter, Elizaveta, previously owned 25% of the French company Sirius, in whose name a 190 square meter apartment in Paris, valued at approximately 1,077 million euros, was registered. The anti-corruption fund argued that the Peskov family's official income did not justify the purchase of such real estate. In response, Dmitry Peskov denied the family's connection to the transaction, stating that his daughter lived very poorly in Paris and was never a rich person.
Almost a year since the fall of the Bashar Assad regime, the Syrian economy remains in tatters. According to Associated Press, people had hoped there would be progress in rebuilding the country and making destroyed neighborhoods livable again. However, many areas across the country remain full of rubble and destruction. Even though Syria is slowly ending its diplomatic isolation, many in the war-torn country had hoped that more money would have poured in from outside. According to the United Nations, 90% of the country lives in poverty, of which the majority relied on humanitarian aid to survive throughout the conflict from 2011 until Assad's fall in December 2024. Syrians are visiting the houses they fled, only to see them largely destroyed with bullet holes, major gaps from artillery fire, and completely disconnected from the electricity and water network. It's been a year since the regime fell. I wish international companies could come and help fix our roads, fix our electricity and water issues, says Mar al-Hamsi, a resident of Yarmouk camp. I left the camp at the beginning of the conflict, and I'm still trying to return. With the little money they have, people are now trying to rebuild what they can, but they say it is much too expensive in the current economic situation. Since Assad was ousted last December in a lightning rebel offensive, Gulf countries have signaled interest in investing in the country's reconstruction. In July, Syria and Saudi Arabia announced 47 investment agreements, valued at over $6 billion. On the ground, progress has been slow. The country struggles with water and electricity cuts, with about half the population facing food insecurity. In 2017, the United Nations estimated that rebuilding Syria would cost at least $250 billion, a figure some experts now say could be as high as $400 billion.
طبعا انا اول واحد رجعت على البنايه، عم بنظف البنايه كلياتها. مفتوحه، تفضل. طبعا سالتنا بهيك جوار كثير، هيك جوار سالتنا فيها كثير اول ما فتنا، وين ما كان مبخش.